YouTube. How are you? Good morning. It is currently 9:30 in the morning right now, and I've been up and busy washing my face. Nothing like cold water on the face in the morning to wake you up. Also took some time to spend time with Booger and the outside half feral cat Blackie, and now I can settle down and do a reaction for you. So, what's been going on? Well, a lot of things have been going on with Foodie Beauty, and yet not much has been going on. But I want to react to Asweetmadness today, a video of hers that I found where she was dry begging at Walmart. Yeah, she did that. She went to Walmart and she was dry begging. At the same time, she was doing her grocery shopping. I have so much to say on that, but I'll wait until we get to that video, courtesy of Wendy's World. For those of you that are on my channel, that you came to my channel because of me reacting to Foodie Beauty, we're also going to be doing some recapping and updating on the foodie stuff without reacting to our actual lives or videos, courtesy of all the wonderful people on Twitter. There's different little Twitter clips. Doggone it, my tongue doesn't want to work today. Where's the coffee? Where's the coffee? Must have more coffee. Anyway, there's different clips on Twitter where if you're someone you want to keep up with Chantal still, we can do so without doing the regular reactions that go on a long time, and there's really not much to talk about. So that's what we're doing today. Get all of the Chantal stuff out of the way and then move on to Asweetmadness. I actually tried to do this reaction yesterday, but StreamYard was acting all the way up and it kept freezing up. So we're rewinding, we're redoing, all that stuff. So let's do this, okay? So why don't we just get started with all the stuff on Twitter? And there's positive stuff mixed in there too. I found some really positive stuff to kind of offset some of the negative. Some really pretty stuff. So let me just go ahead and bring up the screen. Okay. You guys want to hear something funny that just happened? I was reacting and I was almost done with this stuff on Twitter. And then I looked at StreamYard and I noticed I forgot to push the record button. What is it with me these days? Pay attention, Rose. Okay, I will pay attention. All right. So for those of you that are on the Bird app that want to follow me, there's my handle, All Girls Sarah. Let's start with this, courtesy of Wonder Mom, saying, one would think if she's ready to DIE for a giant plate of pasta, it would be A, delicious, B, she would not chew, or she would chew and enjoy it, but not Dear Foodie. She cooks by putting everything she can find in her kitchen into the pot. She just swallows food without chewing or tasting. So y'all can see what's going on here in this clip. Okay, you guys, we're going to get it off the screen. We don't need to watch her chew the same food over and over. That's gross. What is that clip in reference to? Chantal last night posted a mukbang video called 2 a.m. Spaghetti. That's where the clip comes from. So she did a live where she went with Salah to basically a dark parking lot with a coffee shop nearby. They did the live and then she posted the video with her eating spaghetti. So that's what her content is these days. Season 3 is supposed to be lit. I'm not feeling the flame. Are you? I don't feel warm. I don't even see smoke. Yeah, so she did that. She did the video where she's eating spaghetti. And that's why I'm not reacting to it. Because why? There's nothing to talk about. She's not doing anything reaction worthy, in my opinion, for me. She's doing stuff catering to one certain type of audience. And since I am not someone that I'm interested in that content, I have no fetish for that type of content, I'm out. You guys don't need to see it. We don't need to talk about it. What is there to say? Uh, she knows that what she's doing is bad for her. She knows she's hurting her health, and she's saying, I don't care. So if you don't care, then I don't care, Chantal. But here you go. This is the video that she posted. This is the content that she said season 3 was supposed to be lit. I'm not lit up by this. I'm actually repulsed by it. Okay, something positive from F. Spending my afternoons on a sunflower. That is so lovely. Is it a bed? Is it a couch? I don't even know what this is. And you know what? I don't care. I want it. Even though I don't have any room in my place for it. It looks so relaxing. The perfect place to take a nap or read a book. I want this sunflower bed couch thing. Where do you get it and how much does it cost? I'll find a way to make it work. I mean, I'll take out my regular bed and I'll put the sunflower bed. That might work. Hey, where there's a will, there's a way, right? Okay, Jolie says, why would anyone's mother want a cameo from you? USD $30. Are you serious? Flowers, chocolates, nice mug, teacup, sweater. The options are endless, or a random stranger who is gross and vile on the daily. So I did a tarot reading last night, and the cards clearly said that her and Salah, they're going to be doing the most. The attitude is throw everything against the wall and see what sticks. Anything that works, works. So Chantal and Salah, I guess they're both going to try to do cameos now, or she's trying to use Salah as a way to do extra cameos, and she's charging $30. Why? He's not worth 1 penny, let alone $30. But here is the advertisement for it, saying, get your discounted cameos now. You can also request one with Salah and I both in it if you like. Well, if you're charging $30 for cameos, Chantal, I don't see that as a discount. It seems like the cost of your cameos keep going up versus down. And I just don't see how Salah making appearances would cause people to want cameos, but that's just me. Okay, next. This is from Mo Translates, saying a few deleted, ignored comments from Chantal's last 2 live streams. Thank you, Mo. Let's look at them. Alana Ball says, okay, I probably shouldn't ask this because it will open a can of worms. But Chantal, have you starfished Salah? No disrespect, I only ask for laughs. Purely Blessed says, please go back to Canada. This content is horrendous. A lot of people are saying that. It's not just people in the reaction community or the reactors. Her own audience is telling her. But she doesn't care. She wants to be there. Blood Clot Pondu says, not here for the cocktail arc. Yeah, a lot of people are bowing out. Nancy sent a super sticker saying no one wants to hear him. They said it. We all thought it. That's how everybody feels. Nobody wants to hear him. Nobody wants to see him. But Chantal is determined to put him in our faces any chance she gets. It Works Global says, stink didn't stop you from kissing Natter. No, it didn't. And I'm not fetish shaming. There's lots of people that have the foot fetish. But I just want to remind everybody and to inform everybody that does not know. There was an occasion that Chantal kissed Natter's feet. And he took a picture. And I saw the picture, and it looked like Chantal wasn't repulsed by it at all. If anything, she looked really, really into it. Blue Pot said, sorry, I was busy for a few months, but dang, girl, you're looking rough. I guess the glow up is still in progress, ? Yeah, she is looking rather rough, and it's only getting worse. Again, on her choice. She chose to go back there. What can anybody do? Mo Translate says, highlights from today's Chantal uploads. She got stuck getting up from a park bench when she was out tonight with Salah. Second upload was a 2 a.m. spaghetti and meatballs mukbang with a crazy amount of cheese to, and I quote, replenish after the 5-minute walk. The word we're looking for here is desperation. The word of the day is desperation. There's an air of desperation. Chantal is desperate to make the views. She's desperate to make the money, and she's doing everything in her power to try to make money. And in the past, Chantal was all about that life of kicking the hornet's nest, because at that time, the hornets would come out. And, like there'd be a big ruckus, and she loved the ruckus. The ruckus translated into profit. But anymore, she's kicking the hornet's nest, and the hornets aren't coming out because they're saying, seen it, done it, been there, heard it. Everybody's gone numb to her. Even the reactors are going numb to her. It's like there's nothing surprising here. There's nothing shocking here. It's the same old, same old. She talks about the same topics. She does the same things. She brings up the same stories. So what is there to discuss to make entertainment or to get discussion going? If she wants to hurt her health, what can anybody do? Nothing. She can sit down and eat a plate of spaghetti and consume 20,000 calories. The only person she's hurting is herself by her choice. So if you want to cater to the feedy people, Chantal, do it. I just wish you would do it in a private platform versus YouTube, because not only are you hurting yourself, you're hurting other people, and that's not right. And I wish that YouTube would step up and enforce their policies, but apparently they're turning their face away for the sake of profit. But I'm not in control of YouTube. I can't tell them what to do. They're making that decision. But as I've said to you, Chantal, you can get away with some things some of the time, but you can't get away with everything all of the time. And all it takes is one time where you don't get away with something to completely change or end your life. Just something to think about. Oh, oops, skipped ahead. Cowboy Dog says that 2 a.m. spaghetti video is a troll rage baiting. Don't fall for it. Yes, it is, but it's not working. Anybody mad about what she's doing? Things have changed. Where people used to get mad about what she did, now we're all like, we don't even care. We are past the point of caring. We've thrown up our hands and said, we don't care. There's nothing we can do here. The outrage that she's looking for, she's not getting because nobody cares. We're numb to you, Chantal. Remember how you used to come on camera flashing your naughty bits, and for a moment that was shocking, and then after a while it wasn't shocking anymore? Same vibes. Exact same vibes. If you oversaturate people doing the same tactics over and over, after a while it's not shocking. And you stop getting the responses. That's what's happened with you. Everything you're doing, you've already done. Nobody gives a crap anymore. Hidden True says Foodie Beauty posts a full carb meal at 2 a.m. and says she just got back from her 5-minute walk, which is a lie. Her live was 5 hours ago. She posted this vlog now 1 hour ago. That was approximately 1 p.m. American time, which makes that approximately 9 or so p.m. their time. But it's 2 a.m. She just got home. Yeah, curious about the timing. Very, very curious. Okay, something cute from Punch Cat. I did not order this, but you know what? I'll take it anyway. If I went to McDonald's and they gave me that in a bag, I would say, I'll take it. I don't need a Big Mac. I don't need a shake. Just give me the cat. I'll walk out with it. If it's in my bag and I paid for it, it's mine. I'm taking it home. Katie Strong says, so they went out to hang out in a parking lot at a mobile coffee bar. Wow. Yeah, because nothing screams romantic relationship like taking your supposed wife out at night to a parking lot. That's a romantic relationship to me. I'm going to wait till after dark and take my wife to a parking lot, to a coffee bar in the middle of nowhere, That's romance at its finest, y'all. We should all be jealous of Chantal. Okay, girl, you do you. Whatever. Taking you out to a parking lot. Jeez. Small silly cat says, "Why is the potato yelling at me?" I don't know. How's he yelling? Ah, you know what? That potato can yell at me all day. I would not mind. Let the little furry potato yell at me. I'm okay with that. Yup Yup says, "Foodie Beauty shouldn't be walking around in the dark. If she falls, trips, injures herself, Scatman can't carry her back to the car. Plus, she scares people." Yeah, another aspect of this. He's supposed to care about her, but he's taking her to a parking lot where it's dark and there's nobody else around. If something happens to Chantal, there's nobody around to even scream at, to say, "Hey, can you help me?" He can't pick her up and carry her to the car. Like, if something happened to her, how would he get help? How can you be a person looking at another person who is seriously sick and say, "Let's go take a walk in the park alone in the dark"? She does need to get out. That's true. But why not pick a location closer to home? And don't they have a gym and a swimming pool in the building? Why not do that? Why not go there? Why not do that? Versus getting too far away from home. Hidden Truth says, "Foodie Beauty, she seems a little off today and not truly paying attention to what she says or the chat. She's talking rather slow when responding. Is she on something again? Because it looks like as if her thoughts are not there." Let's watch the clip.
I might start using that too. But I'll tell you something, okay? Hey, Mimi Pondu, I'll tell you something. The collagen I've been taking, I'm surprised how fast it's gotten rid of my knee pain. I used to have to go to...
This is such lame rage baiting. Excuse me. This is such lame rage baiting. She knows what she's doing. She's over here talking about collagen in her knees when she's got much more important things to talk about. Much more things of more important, dire concern, like her diabetes. "I'm taking collagen for my knees." What about your diabetes? What about your high blood sugar? What about your high blood pressure? What about your heart problems? What about your kidney problems? Focusing on the little things when the big things get ignored. But she's doing it on purpose. She purposely does and says things to get the reactors talking. But like I said, there's really nothing to talk about. What can we talk about that you guys haven't heard a million times before, that we haven't discussed at length? We're looking at somebody who's a straight up food addict, is in the throes of their addiction, and they don't want to stop. They could stop. There are resources, there are people, there are places she could go. She doesn't want help. Anybody on her channel that wants her to get help, understand what you're dealing with. Understand what you're listening to. She doesn't want help. She doesn't have a YouTube channel. She has a feedie channel. She's catering to them, specifically to them. And those of you on her channel, that you are not there for that content, that you are not interested in that content, she doesn't care about any of you. She acts like she does, but if she did care, she would take more care of her health, wouldn't she? There are many words of encouragement and support from some of you on her channel that you want her to live longer, better. She doesn't hear you. She doesn't want to hear you. She's basically turned her channel into just a portal to get in front of the feedie people. And once she gets in front of them and says, "Hi, I'm Chantal. This is me. I'm 500 plus pounds. I do feedie content. Contact me on Insta and pay me for content via PayPal." That's what she's there for. And I know some beezers might come over here saying I'm just a hateful person. I'm not. But let me just, for those of you that have not been around long enough, please let me allow you for a moment to take you back in time and give you a brief summary of her history. When Chantal first came onto YouTube 7, 8 years ago, that's when her channel had the most variety. Like any beginning YouTuber, she wasn't exactly sure what she wanted to do. So she did a variety of different content, looking to see what would get the most attention and the most views. She did all kinds of stuff. She went out and did shopping hauls, makeup looks, believe it or not, video game playthroughs. She gave variety. But then when she wandered onto the mukbang trend and she started doing the mukbang stuff on her channel, that's when things really took off. And that's when she started to attract the feedy people, of which there have been many that have surfaced on her channel. Those that have been around long enough remember the Lakma fairy, somebody that bought her Lakmas. Then there was also the person who had a particular quirk for his content. He didn't like the sound of a metal spoon or a metal fork hitting the plate when she ate, so he bought her an oversized wooden spoon and a wooden fork. Then there was the person who bought her paneer, and she ate paneer for an entire month. She was also caught on a feedy site. The kiwi farmers exposed it, and when she found out that they exposed it, she got rid of it. There was also another gentleman who came into her own chat and sent a super chat saying, "Thank you for the talk the other night. Really enjoyed it." That super chat got deleted. There was also another lady who came online and said that her boyfriend was a feeder, and he said that he enjoyed and paid for content from Hungry Fat Chick and also Chantal. So Chantal has a YouTube channel, but that's not her main focus anymore. It's all about finding the feedy people and gathering them to her and then having them pay her for content off of YouTube. That's her main focus. That's why she doesn't care about her YouTube channel. It's just an open public portal to gather those people to her. If she were on a more private forum, such as OnlyHands or Patreon, those are private forums and it's not really open to the public. If you're on another platform like that, you have to advertise that platform somewhere else to gather people to that platform. So on YouTube, it's an open public platform where she can get more exposure. She's using it as advertisement to get the feeders to pay her for stuff off of YouTube. That's why we see her not doing stuff anymore on YouTube. I also feel that she double dips. She'll make content for the feedy people. She gets paid for that. Then she double dips and puts the video on YouTube for whatever extra change she can get out of it. One more thing, something to think about. This could be a possibility. This is not an absolute. In the feedy world, there are all kinds of people doing that kind of content. It's very common, to do things in a certain way. But then there's the specialized content. And a Muslim woman or someone pretending to be a Muslim woman, as it were with Chantal, that's very specialized content because gluttony is considered haram over in Kuwait. So if somebody wants something specialized, they can go to Chantal and she can ask more money just because it's something different. And there might be, and again, I'm not saying this is an absolute, just something to think about. There might be people in the world that are Islamophobic, that are hateful towards Islam or the Muslim people. They may pay for a video just for that reason. It is a possibility. It's a window of opportunity for her. I'm not saying she's doing it. I don't know. But the opportunity is certainly there. So If you want to know what Chantal's content is about, her channel is about, there you go. Once upon a time, 8 years ago, she was about her entire entire channel and the entire audience. Anymore, it's a channel for satisfying different fetishes for different people to get paid. But do I think that she's under the influence of something here? Kind of feels like it. She does not look well, though. Mo Translate says, Chantal's video with her talking about it, it's okay if a man wants a second wife if his first wife can't have kids. It's amazing how she still doesn't understand that her Mijar marriage is temporary and it's not an actual real marriage. Girl, if Salah gets married, that one will be his first wife. It's really funny how her song changed. Once upon a time, she said Salah cannot have another wife. She shut that down immediately. Now she's saying that she might be okay with it. I think that if she did accept another woman, it would be an act of desperation to hang on to him. If that's what it took to hang on to him, she would do it. I mean, let's go back in history a little bit. She wanted Nader. She wanted Nader all to herself. Nader wanted to be with Dee Dee. And even after Nader lived with Dee Dee, she continued to see Nader. You know, she tried her best to get it okay with that arrangement, although it never really sat well with her. She didn't like the idea of sharing, but she had no choice. If she wanted to be around Nader, she had to share him. So if she did it with Nader, she would do it with Salah if it meant she could hang on to him and she can stay in Kuwait. Coast Crab says her eyes are puffy. She cried before going live. Well, that's on her. She chose this misery. It was a choice. And whatever choices you make, you have to deal with them. I did a tarot reading on her last night. She's not happy. She's not happy at all. But Chantal, I also saw in the cards, this whole thing you got going on. Girl, you better get out of there. Because everything is lining up that you've ticked off a lot of people. And I know you like to walk around thinking that nobody can tell you what to do, but I'm here to tell you there are people that can tell you what to do. People of authority. People of a higher rank than you. People that outrank you. You do not have dominion over the government in Kuwait. No, ma'am. You're not going to be able to stay in Kuwait much longer. Everything is aligning to get you out of there. So I don't know what you're waiting for. I don't know if you're trying to go to the family and say, I want X amount of money, and the money is it's a lot, more than what the family can afford. But if there is an offer on the table, you need to take it. Don't be greedy. Take it and leave. Because if you wait too long and you get too greedy, they'll send you home anyway. Be like a monopoly. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You've ticked too many people off. And the family is not happy with you, and you know this. So, words to the wise, Chantal. Don't be foolish again. Remember what happened with FFG and BBJ. She offered you $3,000 and an NDA to get BBJ. You didn't take it, and what happened? FFG got BBJ anyway. You didn't get $3,000. You missed out. Are you going to repeat the same mistake again? Whatever they're offering you, take it. Don't be stupid. Take it. You're not happy there anyway. You're hanging on to someone and to something that does not belong with you. It's not for you. If it were for you, you'd be happy, not miserable. Florida Salt and Sass says the foodgasms are so gross, but she's broke. She wants to lure in the feedies and try to duplicate her past cash flow. Well, those days have come and gone. She's riding on her past glory, but those days have come and gone. She'll never see a $20,000, $30,000 paycheck ever again. She just won't. She will not. And can I say something about the foodgasms, please? Just a word. As you guys know, I dealt with BED, okay? And I will say there are some things you can eat, drink that will give you that your brain that brain gasm, and other things won't give it to you. Sugar is something that hits your brain immediately. Something really, really sweet, like a piece of chocolate cake or like a really sugary drink. That sugar hits your brain like a bomb. And you might have that brain gasm moment. But not everything will trigger it. Anymore, I think she's faking it. Like she's having a brain gasm for every meal she eats. That does not happen. What she's got in front of her. I'm telling you that the brain gasm would not happen with that plate of whatever it is. It might happen with a piece of chocolate cake or a sugary drink due to the sugar. Now, I understand that carbs turn into sugar, but that's a process. But like sugar right off the bat, it's immediate. Carbs turning into sugar, not so much. She lying. Fondue Pondu says, how Chantal wants a lot to look at her. Never will. He finds you hideous and repulsive. The only hole getting stuffed in Kuwait. And here we go again. She's doing the foodgasm face for every video. So we just saw it with that plate of food, and she's doing it with the quesadilla. I'm sorry. I've eaten quesadillas before. Didn't get a brain gasm. Not even a little bit. Not even a sliver. Because it's a quesadilla. No sugar in there. She lying. Straight up, she's lying. Lies detected. Foop Olympic says, of course she relates to a stalker story. This is the same woman who tried to break into Natter's house in a leopard print dress. Kristen says, okay, I haven't watched Baby Reindeer, but leave it to Chantal to take up for the stalker. Of course she would. Of course she would. Because she's been a stalker herself, even before YouTube. When she was much younger, she stalked 2 teenage boys. To the point where the father came out of the house and said, if you don't go home and leave my sons alone, I'm calling the cops. And then, of course, there was the incident at Natter's house where she was all upset because her and Natter were playing games with each other. He was calling her. She wasn't picking up the phone. And then when she tried to call him, he wasn't picking up the phone. He went to go hang out with somebody. Because he wasn't picking up, she assumed he was with another woman. So she drove over to his house with a live going, and she was trying the doorknob and looking in the windows. And you wonder why men don't want to be with you, Chantal. You are insecure, you are jealous, you're clingy, you're possessive, you're controlling. All of those things are negative traits. You wonder why you're alone most of the time. Pew Dog says, so she woke up, took the CPAP off, and then dove right into a giant plane of Indian food. The way I'd have a stomach ache. Yep, that's her life. That's what she chose. Okay. So this is from DX saying, wow, if I didn't know any better, I would think that Chantal is essentially paying an escort to live out her fantasy with Natter. So let's watch.
What I wish.
And I'm going to stop it here before we even hear a word from her. Just something of note. This clip was from her villa days when she lived with Pete's. The same villa that, if it had not been for Pete's, she would not have been able to get into due to the fact that she had a bankruptcy on her record and Pete's was the one with the good credit. So he put his name on the dotted line. She paid the bills, she paid the rent, but it was his name on the dotted line. So they stayed at the villa, and this is how she lived. Surrounded in trash, in rubble, in debris, in filth. Look behind her. Box Mountain, one of the Box Mountains. Torn up boxes everywhere. Fruit flies everywhere. This was how she chose to live. And at that time, she was making much more money than she is now. Everything about her world at that time was her choice, just as everything about her world now is her choice. And yet she's always pointing a finger and saying it's everybody else's fault. No, it can't be, because you chose this. You made it happen. But let's listen to the clip.
Like a part of me, like, wants everything to just blow over.
Yeah, so she's talking about Natter. So Chantal threatened to go to the cops about the DV. She threatened to go to the cops. She got all gassed up one night. The VIBs put the battery in her back. And why did she want to go to the cops? Because she learned that Natter was going to go to the cops first and get, I guess, a restraining order or something. So she was playing the before you do something, I'm going to do something. She was playing the control game. She wanted to control Natter. She wanted to scare Natter. She was also frenzied at that time because Dee Dee was staying with Natter and would not go home. And every day that Dee Dee was there, Chantal was getting more and more worked up because she wanted to see him. So she pulled that card out of her deck. I know you have a criminal past. I'm going to use it against you. I'm going to go to the cops and claim DV. Although in my opinion, DV never happened. She was lying about it, still lying about it. But she threatened to go to the cops and all that. And here she is saying, I just hope things blow over so I could be with Natter. Sitting there high, stuffed up because of the Coca-Cola up her nose.
Legally, and then have like a happy travel couples channel and cooking and happily forever eating baba ganoush happily forever after.
Pining over Natter. Pining over him. And I don't think it's so much, honestly, if you peel back the layers, it's not so much about him. She covets what other people have and what other people do versus focusing on herself. If there are other people with couples channels, she says, I want that too, just because they have it. If other people in relationships, I have to have a relationship. I don't care what I have to do to have it. I'm going to have it. She wants what other people have versus looking inside and saying, I want what's best for me. And like Trisha Paytas has a husband. They do couple stuff. So she's a YouTuber. She's looking at them going, I want to be like them. Always coveting, Chantal. Always coveting.
In a cabin in the woods in Quebec somewhere.
Oh, my eyes are rolling the back of my head. It's sickening. He doesn't love you. He'll never love you. And Salah will never love you. They're only in love with one thing, and that's your bank account, you big idiot. Okay, so Kristen says, ma'am, please, you don't even need chips for your nachos. Let's watch.
Angela, yum, nachos. What do you guys like on your nachos?
And this is exactly why I'm not really reacting to her as much, except through Twitter. This is what her content is. Eating food, talking about food, making chit chat with a chat about food. What is there to talk about? She's obsessed with food, literally obsessed. And I don't have that obsession. And I'm pretty sure those of you that watch my videos, you're not obsessed with food. So I don't find it interesting. I don't think you'd find it interesting either. Her obsession and her addiction is not our obsession or addiction. Her obsession with being unhealthy is not our obsession. So we're going to look at things differently. We're going to feel differently about it. Where she might find it fascinating, we find it disgusting. It's really strange. She wants to be a big hit on YouTube, but she's not considering 100% of her audience because she's focused on making her channel a fetish channel, fulfilling people's fetishes, whatever it is. Okay, so Ghost Crab says her eyes are puffy. She cried before going live. I don't know if it's her being high or crying or both, but she's just getting progressively worse. Fondue Pondu, Foodie Beauty, her one true passion, her everlasting love. We are cycling faster than Lance Armstrong. I very politely and disagree with you, Fondue Pondu. And let me tell you why. It used to be a cycle. There used to be different phases. Now there's no phases involved with it. It's not a cycle, it's a circle. Thinking about it, it's not even a circle anymore. A circle means you go round and round and round. There's at least some kind of movement. There's no movement there. It's just her sitting in a circle, perfectly still, not moving, not acting, not doing, just sitting in her own little toxic circle. But it's the circle is not moving. It's just stagnant, just sitting in a puddle, if you will. But climax, foreplay, dopamine insertion. Yeah, but I don't even know if she gets a dopamine hit anymore. If there's a climax, foreplay, dopamine insertion, it's not so much for her, it's for the people that watch her. They experience these things, maybe, not her. She's just providing that stuff for them. Acadia Strong says, so this was the top quality content she had promised her beezers. Let's watch.
Bees. And honestly, let's just be honest. You guys know, if we actually do bees overseas.
Anybody else sick of the word bees? I'm so sick of that word. It's so stupid. To hear a 40-year-old woman talk about beesing like it's some sort of a brand. Like it's important in life to bees and bees this and bees that. I am so sick of that word. It's so childish. It's so immature. Chantal, do you know what beesing is? Do you know where it comes from? Because I did look it up. Beesing is a term that came from something that people did being stupid. And I don't recommend anybody doing this. Please, nobody do this. I'm just explaining where it comes from. Beesing is when you take some sort of a balm from Burt's Bees, you put it beneath your eyelids or something. It's supposed to make you feel drunk or something. That's where beesing comes from. But you came up with the word bees to replace the other B word. Once the other B word got a no-no from YouTube, you had to find an alternate word that YouTube did not have a problem with. So everything became beesing. And those that are on your channel, they came to understand that bees was a code word for doing chemicals, the eating, all of that. You're using a code word. You're talking in code. But it's so ridiculous to watch you as a 40-year-old woman talking about beesing. Well, guess what? Your beesing sucks.
It is going to be tip-top quality content.
So tip-top quality content. Are you talking to the feedy people? Because I think you are.
I hope that you guys are excited with me in this, because I'm so excited. There's so many things to do.
You know, there are 3 constants with Chantal, 3 rules to always remember. A, Chantal lies. B, Chantal tells on herself. C, if she makes you a promise, count on that promise never being fulfilled. She is a taker, not a giver. She'll never give anything, but she'll always take. As long as you watch, remember those rules, you'll be fine.
And I feel like, we can go to cinema, we can explore the different.
I mean, when it comes to Chantal, it's all about common sense. This woman is over 500 pounds. She can barely breathe. She can barely walk. She doesn't want to walk. She wants to be in the seal position. She is in Kuwait. The temperatures are rising. She doesn't want to be on her feet doing anything, even at night. So how are you guys going to get top quality content with someone who can't move or doesn't want to move and doesn't want to go anywhere and doesn't want people looking at her? I ask you. When there's a feeling of she wants to isolate herself, how is there going to be top quality content? Answer, there isn't.
Landmarks, the history, the food, the culture.
Whatever, liar. Didn't see it for the first few times you went to Kuwait. We're not going to see it now. Meow Meow says, whatever the nasty infection, boil, cellulitis she had was treated in Canada. The hospital, these wipes, vitamins, and pajamas all make sense now. Dirty, nasty, non-washing cow. So, yeah, that does make sense, actually. And thinking about it further, like she did a live recently where it looked like a medical pad was poking out of her pajama bottoms. But thinking about it, if there was a wound or something going on in the crease between her stomach and her fupa, if you got a wound in that area, you don't want tight pants on. You want something loose. Pajama pants would work. So it wouldn't be binding or cause the pain to get worse. So maybe something happened while she was in Canada, and that's why she went to the doctor. And she talked about having an infection and being sick. Maybe that was because of that. I don't know. You seem to have a history of getting frequent boils, Chantal. They keep happening. Okay, so Jolie says, no thanks. Also, wow, Salah is really going incognito. He's that embarrassed to be seen with you. Shameful. Yeah, look at him. Hat, sunglasses, like nobody know I'm here. He's hiding himself as much as possible. Okay, so next. I've seen this comment before and I want to address it. Hidden Truth says, Foodie Beauty before it gets deleted. Derpy Derp says, I really do think you may have Prader-Willi syndrome. This is a distressing syndrome marked by insatiable hunger, short stature, and other symptoms you may identify with. I honestly don't think she has it. I've watched documentaries on Prader-Willi. Prader-Willi is very, very serious. And those who have it, something is going on. The thing that controls hunger or some in your mind, like that is affected. Those who have Prader-Willi, they literally cannot stop eating. They have to have people around them 24/7 to make sure that they're not eating to the point where like their stomach can burst. They'll eat not just everything in the kitchen. They'll go into trash cans or paint chips or whatever they can shove in their mouth. They're always forever hungry. I don't think Chantal has Prader-Willi because she can actually stop, whereas someone with Prader-Willi could not stop. Do I think she's a food addict? Absolutely. She needs to go to inpatient for that, but she does not have Prader-Willi. I promise you. If she had Prader-Willi, like she would be in the hospital right now with a burst stomach. She would not be able to stop. Acadia Strong says, handsomest husband forgot to put his wedding band on. Let's see if Foodie reads here because next time he'll have it on. So yeah, where's your wedding ring, Salah? Oops. Oops, you forgot that wedding ring. But to be fair, Chantal's not been wearing hers either. Isn't that something? A married couple, neither one wearing their rings. Such a happy marriage. And here's the part of the live that Chantal ended up editing out. You guys can see the picture. She wore the pajama top and it came up and it looks like a medical pad sticking out of her pants. I think it's a medical pad. Other people have said diapers. I don't think it's a diaper. I think it looks like a medical pad. But she edited that part out. Perfectly Imperfect says, according to Foodie, she had another skin infection, most likely due to her uncontrolled diabetes. So this is most likely gauze for that infection, not a diaper. I agree. I'm siding with you. I think you're right. Yup says, Foodie Beauty and Scatman uploaded another video on their couples channel where they went to the pet store. Interestingly, they only bought things for their cat, Julia, but nothing for their hamster, Harry. He was never even mentioned. I wonder why. Well, poor Harry. I shudder to think what happened to him. But they went to the pet store. Why not get supplies for both pets? Hidden Truths has this clip where they're at the pet store and there's clearly tension between them. Salah gets a bit spicy with her. Foodie Beauty, the tension in this vlog is high. Plus, you can clearly see that Chantal knows nothing about what Julia likes to eat because Salah is the only one that provides care as she pretends to love her only during her lives. Let's watch.
Like maybe 7 chicken and 3 beef.
Yeah. She likes chicken more.
Just leave it to me. I will handle it.
Ouch. He was snapping at her. Just leave it to me. I'll handle it. Don't touch anything. What a loving relationship. So loving. And you guys are going to hear that she covers up his snapping at her by giggling and saying, "Thanks, honey."
Thanks, babe. Oh, yeah.
And then she further goes on. They're standing in front of a display where there's cat treats and kitten treats. And clearly you can tell which is which because you've got the full-grown cat on one type of package and the kitten on another type of package. Big, stupid idiot Chantal goes for the kitten treats.
Julia, all right. Get some crunchies.
No, this for the kitten.
Oh,
It's so sad, Chantal. You owned cats for years. 4 years. Salon didn't do that. And yet he's correcting you.
I think this one for the adults.
yes, you're right.
She shouldn't own pets, period. She's an animal herself. Nature is amazing. Cherry blossoms in the wind. I've seen snowstorms and windstorms and sandstorms, but I've never seen a cherry blossom storm. That would be weird, pretty. I've never seen this. I want to show it to you guys. Okay, again, this is a close-up shot of, it looks like a medical pad. I'm telling you, it looks like a medical pad, and it's in the crease, so that would make sense. And here's from Annie Pooh. The diaper 10-ton Tina Flash looks kind of like an abdominal pad we use to dress wounds. Basically a big flat diaper-like dressing. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Although I hate to gross y'all out. I'm so sorry, forgive me. But I'm noticing the pad isn't white. It looks gray. Ew. Sorry about that, but I had to point that out. Why you should have a cat, name a better blanket. I can't. Cat's got the right idea. It looks snuggled in. Shaking but not stirred says, I'm doing the May challenge. I may or may not give a crap. I think I'll take that May challenge. I think it might make me happy. Historic vids. A cow got loose on the highway, so they brought in a cowboy to take care of it. What better person to take care of a cow getting loose but a cowboy? They know what to do. And I'm sure the cow wasn't harmed by this. It's just, you got to stop him from running out into traffic and getting hurt. So let a cowboy do a cowboy's job. Let's see. Hidden Truth says, Foodie Beauty, what happened to the food she bought just before she left for Canada March 6th? Then when she got back, another large food haul, 328. It all makes sense if they're rather large food hauls are for his other family. No one uses 3 pounds of salt. I get she eats a lot, but still. Yeah, I think that might be going on too, that some of that food is going for other family members. Like that might be going on. And you know what? We're almost at an hour right now. I really want to get into the Sweet Madness stuff. So we'll just cut that off on Twitter. Sorry it was a long kind of update recap, but it's been a while. So let's just get into a Sweet Madness. And once again, I just like to give some context. So Willow Shirley, she gets all kinds of assistance, including assistance with food. She gets food stamps. She also goes to food banks. And she's at Walmart. She's doing her shopping with a live going. Why? You're shopping. We pay attention to your shopping. But she's doing it on purpose by shopping. She's purposely putting on the live so that if she says, oh, I can't get this or I can't afford this, maybe somebody will give her money for that thing. She's got money. She just doesn't want to spend her money on necessities. She wants other people to buy the necessities so she can save her money for extras. But Booger's on my lap. Booger. Baby, come here. And let's get into a Willow Shirley. A Sweet Madness, I mean. Okay, and again, this is courtesy of the channel Wendy's World. Before we get into the video, let's check out the comments really quick. Lisa Arnold says she makes me sick, blows her money on worthless junk, and has these idiots pay for everything else, mostly food. She doesn't need all this food she begs for. Beach Girl says, why do people pay for her groceries? She gets food stamps. I'm convinced that people have more money than sense. Always Nodding says, dry begging always, thinking out loud. I'm not going to get the potatoes. Yeah, she's not thinking out loud. She's begging with a purpose. Because she's not coming on camera and saying, I can't get the potatoes today, but that's okay. I'll get them later. She's saying, I just can't get the potatoes. Terry says she's something else, probably waiting for people to give her more money so she can buy those potatoes. You know what? If you can't afford it, you don't need it. If you go to the grocery store and you've only got, say, a certain amount of food stamps or money, you put the priorities out there and you go for the priorities. And the rest can wait for later. She goes to a food bank. She's got food stamps. That should be more than enough. She's one person. She's not trying to feed a family. Autumn Moon Rose says she's boasting about TikTok paying for her stuff like the Walmart employee working for their money gives a doggone. Oh, she did that? Oh, we're going to cover that too. Let's go.
I have 2 debit cards and cash I need to pay with.
When you're finished paying, just let me.
So they just said, I have 2 debit cards and cash. So if you got cash and 2 debit cards, you can get whatever you want. You don't need to have a live going where you're waiting for people to send you more, Willow.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
There's one here in the middle open.
Okay, I didn't want to be rude. I'll just wait and use this.
And that's part of the video that's not me.
I'll just do this. There we go. Hold on.
This happens a lot. I think it's highly rude for her to go to the Walmart and do this because you don't know what people you're going to capture on camera. You don't know what their stories are. They don't want to be blasted on somebody's TikTok live. They're just in there to get their groceries and do their job. And you're putting them on camera. You're not getting their consent.
No, you're fine. Sure, why didn't I do that? That was totally what I meant to do.
Like, I just don't see the sense in doing a live in Walmart if the reception is this bad. If the live is going to keep stopping and starting and freezing, what is the point in this? Just shut off the camera and go home. Oh, oops. I think maybe Wendy's World was stopping the live to read the comments. I will give Willow a little bit of credit where credit is due. At least they go out and get food. Like, they have the mobility scooter. They're going out and getting food. So props for that. Although dry begging while getting the food, thumbs down on that.
Okay, how do I do this? Oh, shit.
See, it keeps stopping. Why do we need to see someone checking out at a grocery store? Why? Okay, moving ahead a little bit.
Bags. That way I can just put it all in one bag. No, just the cheapest of the biggest. That won't be big. Bag the meat separately, like each one in
Lord, the reception must be horrible there.
separate bags. And then the rest, I think I can do on my own because apparently it's all on my PayPal. That's not it. You all are amazing, by the way. I just want you to know that.
Ready?
Yeah, just get it all in one.
Why do you call people amazing in your audience? Because they send you money? I think so.
Oh, wrong side. I'm just gonna do it all on one card.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these amazing people on TikTok just paid for my groceries.
Wow. That's why she went to Walmart and turned on her live. I mean, like scammers, when they do things, there's a reason behind it. There's a purpose. She purposely turned on her live, and people in her audience bought her groceries. Despite the fact she said in the beginning, I've got money. I've got money. I've got 2 different cards and I've got money. And she gets food stamps and she goes to a food bank. Trust me, she's not starving. Why is anybody paying for her food? You know, there's an old saying. If you feed a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. If you teach a man to fish, he'll eat for the rest of his life. If you promote someone to be more independent for themselves, you're helping them more than just giving them something. Because if there's a system of giving, and they get used to it, then they get used to that. And they don't ever want to do for themselves. You know, it kind of it goes against being independent.
So, y'all are amazing. Thank you guys so much. I'm incredibly grateful for all of you all.
Hey, you're probably looking at your audience saying, suckers. I can use the rest of my money and food stamps on other things that I really don't need.
Ooh, you want cash back?
I'm kind of blown away. Going to Walmart to scam, to openly scam people, to put on the sad puppy dog eyes. I can't get these items, boo-hoo. And the audience falls for it. No wonder TikTok is so popular. It's a scammer free-for-all.
I think that's right. Score. Groceries are paid for. The amazing woman helped me bag them. Receipt is required. You all are amazing. Thank you guys.
And you know what the worst part about this type of scam is? People like Willow Shirley. There's always a crisis. There's always something wrong that they need help with. But they'll never stop going to other people with their problems. There's always a problem, and it's always severe, and they always need help. There will never come a point where they say, I've got a problem, but I'm working on it. I'm solving it. I've got this. There will never be that point of independence. They will always maintain that position of weakness where I'm too weak and I can't handle it myself. Therefore, it's your obligation to help me. And I understand that there are people in the audience that they just want to do a good thing and help somebody out. But again, sometimes the best way to help somebody out is to not help them out. Let them learn. She needs to learn. They need to learn. Sorry.
Okay. No, I didn't bring my fur babies. Thank you. You're amazing. I have food stamps, but when you try to buy healthy food, it's more expensive. And I blew through my food stamps buying produce and healthier food.
Yeah, but what about all your little side business hustles, Willow? What about like you've got different storefronts that people can buy stuff from you? So, and you also do tarot readings on TikTok. So you've got all these little different side hustles. You get a lot of irons in the fire. It doesn't make sense to me. Okay, I want to stop it here because there's a comment being posted by Beautiful saying food stamps never give people enough anyways. I've never been on food stamps to know what they give or how often. And I'm certainly not judging anybody that takes any kind of assistance, because if you need help and the help is there being offered, take it. If it helps you, if it helps your family, take the help. No shade, no shame. Willow is alone, doesn't have kids or husband. So whatever that they get, food stamps, stuff from a food bank, one person by themselves, that should be more than enough. If you're being smart with your money and your resources, you should have an abundance that you could use. I mean, going to the food bank, like I said, they give a lot of food. They every food bank is different. They could give you like several bags or one big huge box, and there's a lot of stuff in there. A lot. Dried beans, rice, pasta, plenty of canned goods, canned vegetables, protein, fruits, even little side items like desserts. I've seen food banks give out entire cakes and cupcakes and packages of cookies, and you get all kinds of stuff from a food bank. So between what the food bank gives you and what you can get on food stamps, I mean, what more do you need as one person?
Hey. Are they finally fixing this mess? It's about damn time. The thing about food stamps and disability is it's not enough to live on. Like disability, they don't give you enough to live on your own. And food stamps, they don't give you enough to feed yourself on your own.
But again, you go to food banks, you have your little side hustles. You're not hurting for money, Willow. You've got enough. It's just that you're choosing to spend your personal money on things you shouldn't.
I am.
So here's some insight. This person, Butterfly, says, I get $250 a month and I still have quite a bit of food left a month. 200, I don't, again, it all varies from state to state, person to person, but $250 a month. If you're one person, that should last quite a while, especially if you are supplementing with getting help from other sources like money on TikTok and food banks. Like, so it doesn't make sense to me that she's saying I can't get enough.
So that's why people on disability struggle so much. Like at one point I had 7 people living in my house.
That's not your house. That is your mom's house that you are living in because she owns it, not you. But despite the fact that it's your mom's house, you were basically just doing the hustle of having roommates. So your mom is the one who owns the house. And you decided to go ahead and have roommates and make money off of something that did not belong to you.
Same, Tanya. At one point, I had 7 people living in my house just to make bills.
That's insane. I don't know how big Willow's mom's house is, but 8 people. 8. And I don't know what they were paying as far as rent, but let's do the math on that. If each person was just saying $50, if the rent was $50, 50 times 8, that's like $400 just at $50. I don't know what was being charged, but 8 people with 9 pets. And she has the nerve, they have the nerve to come on TikTok and complain about, oh my money problems. Girl, what? You were stacking up the roommates and stacking up the money. 8 roommates. And you didn't put that money away. That's on you.
And that's when I was working. So imagine what it's like when you're on disability. You make a third of what you were making when you were working. And
you know what, Willow? Cry me a river. Cry me a river. Rent is what makes up the bulk of people's incomes rent is like a big deal. It takes a big chunk out of your income. You don't even have to worry about that because it's not your house. Mom's house. So you don't have to worry about that so much. Like you have to worry about other things besides rent. You got all these side hustles, you got all these different programs. Girl, just stop.
You are reliant on food stamps to buy all your groceries because every penny of your disability check goes to... Yes, I went to college. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Sorry for the unflattering angle, but the bag of groceries keeps trying to slide.
So Willow has a college degree of some sort. Like what are they doing with it? What are they doing with it? Nothing. sitting on TikTok begging all day, when whatever that college degree might be can be applied for actual work, even inside the home.
Let's try that.
There we go. Yes, it's supplemental, but you can say supplemental all you want to somebody who's on disability. That doesn't negate the fact that that's literally all the money we get. Like, my disability check does not cover all of my bills. That's why I started selling Unique and Color Street, was to make a little extra money so I could get groceries outside of the food stamp amount.
So she just confessed. Not only does she have food stamps, she's got food bank food. For one person. One. Y'all, I'm telling you. You go to a food bank if you need to, they will feed you. They give you so much food. And depending on the food bank, you can go once a week or once a day. You know, everything is set up. I don't know what food bank Willow is going to, what their system is, but whatever they give you, you can stretch that for a while because of all the different staples they add to the box or the bags. So she's got these staples over here. She's getting X amount of groceries from the food bank. And then if they were smart, they could go to Walmart for the things the food bank is not giving to them for free. Guarantee if I were to walk up in there and see what the food bank gives, like, it'd be easy to stretch that for a week for one person.
Because I was sick of making lies, the lies you tell, but thank you, Totes. I lost my train of thought. Oh, why I started selling Color Street and Unique. I started doing that because it brought in extra money, and anytime I wanted to purchase from either one.
You know, your other side hustles, good for you if you got the side hustles, but whatever you're doing, whatever side hustles you have as far as the Unique and all that stuff, it must not be good enough, stable enough, regular enough that you can rely on that as a side hustle, because you're still coming on TikTok and begging for people. So the message is, I got my side hustles, but I suck at it, or nobody's buying anything. That's why I'm begging. You know, if you're going through that, the logical step is to look at that and say, I need a different side hustle. I need to really think outside the box and reach for different things, because the things I have going on, they're not stable enough for me.
I got some of my money back in the form of payment. So, like, for example, if I were to buy something from Unique, I get 20% of it back.
And I've heard that Unique is an MLM. Usually how those work is you gotta buy stuff in order to sell stuff. So the company is making money guaranteed. But if you make money that's not a guarantee, is that a smart thing to do? Is that a smart thing to get involved in if you're on a limited income? I say no. If you're someone and you're struggling, you're struggling to make your bills, to feed yourself, why involve yourself in an MLM if you have to buy the product? They make their money, but you may not. You might be spending money on something that will never sell, and it's wasted money.
So it doesn't cost me nearly as much.
You shouldn't be spending on that MLM at all, Willow. Keep the money in pocket and do something else.
understand reading disabilities are hard.
And people in the comments are trying to give Willow suggestions of things that they could do, like working in a call center or doing Uber Eats. Or people are just doing what's natural. When you see someone in distress or having money problems, you try to be helpful and suggest things. Telling people that are on her TikTok, listen, they don't want help. They don't want to fix a situation. Hence the reason why the situation has not been fixed.
They don't, for the most part, keep you from being able to do work. The disabilities that a majority have that I'm discussing here are ones that keep you from being able to work.
I understand that Willow has physical ailments, health problems. But if you're someone and you can sit at home and you can do a TikTok live and talk to people, there's a job out there for you. There are plenty of jobs that people take that you basically work from home and you do nothing but talk on the phone. And you guaranteed make money versus coming on TikTok and maybe you may make money that day, maybe not. But if they can get on and do a TikTok live and talk to people, you can get a job, Willow. There's something out there for you. You just don't want to seek it out.
From being able to get up every day and go to a shift at whatever job. I would, okay, great. I could get an online computer job.
Yeah.
But how do I keep a schedule when most days I'm too sick to focus on answering phone calls, or I have such a migraine that the thought of putting a headset on and taking calls is unbearable.
I understand that. If you have health conditions that may prevent you from working a regular schedule, there are also jobs out there that are available where you can make your own schedule. You know, you log on whenever, and you basically amass pay from whenever. You know, there are flexible schedules out there. But I do think it's weird that you are coming on live this day and saying, how can I commit to a schedule when I've got all these health problems? I have a lot of problem committing to a schedule. At the same time, you're constantly on TikTok, constantly posting things on TikTok, which takes a lot of focus and a lot of energy. You got focus for TikTok. You got focus for a job.
Do I feel safe right now? Yeah. Why wouldn't I feel safe? My chair goes 4 miles an hour. I'm not going to argue this with you guys. To do medical billing and coding, you have to go to school. You have to get a license. And you have to be able to pass all those tests. I can do none of those.
You know why? Because you're saying you can't. If you've already made up your mind and said, I can't do it, then you're fulfilling your own prophecy. You can't do it. Anybody out in the world, if you say, I can't do this, I just can't, because you put that word in your mind of I can't, then you won't be able to. However, if you change your thinking and say, I am having trouble with it, but I want to learn, and I'm going to learn, I'm going to figure this out, you will figure it out. Can't is a destructive word. Can't is a very destructive word in the mind. It stops you from learning, and it stopped Willow.
What did C Long say? I missed what they said. What did they say? because I can't memorize all that shit. Medical billing and coding is not an easy degree. You have to have some medical knowledge, and while I have some, just because of being.
So Miss Beautiful says you're making excuses why you can't work. Well, I'm just going to throw this out there. Those individuals that are on TikTok right now, those of you giving Willow money for whatever, for cat litter, for cat food, for groceries, those of you that just gave her grocery money, you're all backing up her not working. And I'm not crapping on goodwill. I'm not crapping on good thought and compassion and humanity. No. I'm just saying with someone like Willow Shirley, when you give too much, it is negative reinforcement. If somebody is rewarded for lack of action or bad behavior, both will continue. I mean, they've already got it in their mind. Why should I work? Why should I try working? Why should I try to take care of myself when I've got a group of people, they are willing to take care of me? That anytime I have a problem, I can go to them and they'll send their money. You know, sometimes change happens in extreme circumstances. It can be a learning experience. It can make a person stronger. By giving too much, whoever's giving might reinforce the person being weak or getting weaker, because they will never find their own strength. They will never find their own independence. They will always rely on others to be the safety net. And I feel that's what's happened with Willow. Relying way too much on too many people, relying on the family, relying on the mom, relying on the audience to take care of them versus they taking care of themselves.
Patient. I watched my friend do that degree path, and it nearly did her in. That is not something I know that I could succeed at. And I'm not going to put money into something I know I cannot succeed at. And again, I would have to take schooling. And it's at least a 3-year course path. Oh, well.
But wouldn't it be worth it though? I mean, I do understand there's a lot of schooling, there's a lot of learning, there's a lot of studying and paying for a course and whatnot, but wouldn't the end result be worth it? To have that comfort of knowing that whatever it is you learn, whatever course you take, whatever degree you have, if you need it, if you need to call on it to get a certain job, you're ready. Like, what if something happens with your disability, Willow? What if something happens to your YouTube channel? You're relying on those so heavily. What if something happens to your mom? I'm not wishing anything bad upon you or your family or your mom, but I'm just going to put the thought in your mind. If you are staying in the house that your mom owns, it does not belong to you. What if something happens to mom and she's no longer here? Where are you going to live? And with what income are you going to have to live in whatever place? I mean, the system's working for now, but can it work forever? Long term? I don't think so.
Yes, because every fat person must eat all the time. If the people who judge me based on my weight had their way, I would never eat again. For me, it would be about a 3-year career path or 3-year schooling, because I can't do a steady amount of hours. I would have to fit it in with all my doctor's visits and every time I got sick and every time that I just wasn't capable of getting up.
Willow talks about all the doctor's visits and yet always on TikTok. So the doctor's visits aren't every day, taking up every minute. There's plenty of time for TikTok and begging on TikTok.
Yes, Madison, for a healthy person. Not for somebody who's going to 4 or 5 doctor's visits a week, who is sick a lot of the time, who... I'm not going to argue this with you guys.
Well, that's because you'd never win the argument. And I'll tell you why, Willow. I have seen people with much more severe disabilities than yours, and they're much more productive. They don't let what's going on with them stop them in any way. They keep pushing forward. They find ways around things. They are productive members of society. So what's your excuse? What is your excuse for not getting better? What's your reason? Your biggest enemy is yourself. The negative thoughts in your mind, the negative attitude. I think the people that are on your channel that are criticizing you, it's not about your weight. Your weight is your issue. It's your attitude, the defeatist, begging attitude that comes shining through. You're not a nice person. And you're a very entitled person. That needs to stop.
I cannot do medical billing and coding. I do not wish to do medical billing and coding, even if I was healthy. I could not do it.
So here's another helpful person saying, I could show you how to make money posting deals on Amazon and such. If you're interested, it's free. So many helping hands in the audience. She's slapping the hands away.
I went to school to be a DJ. Technically, I could do that.
So why don't you?
Without having to stand up. But I can't maintain a schedule. Technically, I could work for Apple from home, and they would provide the equipment if they hired me. Technically. But I cannot maintain a normal schedule because I go to 4 or 5 doctor's visits a week. There's rarely a week where I'm not going to multiple doctors. How does C-Long keep getting back in? I wanted nothing more than to be a DJ. Like that's what I wanted to do.
So Willow just named off a few things that they could have done for work. Working for Apple, being a DJ. Just the problem, according to Willow, is not adhering to a schedule. But I'm not buying the whole I'm too busy thing, since I've looked at Willow's TikTok page and there's constant videos. Constant. And that really boggles my mind because I've looked into the pay rate for TikTok. It's actually much worse than YouTube if you're part of their partner program. If, say, you're a TikTok creator and you're part of their creator program, per 1,000 views, you get 2 cents or up to 4 cents. Whereas YouTube, it's a bit higher. So what is the point of being on TikTok? To beg? Not so much looking at the creator program because that's not where the money is, just coming on and begging for whatever reason.
But unfortunately, that was not in the cards for me. And unless some miracle happens and I magically heal, it'll never be in the cards for me.
Well, then use that as inspiration. I'm going to do whatever I can do to get better, to get healthier. I'm going to correct my diet. I'm going to stop spending all this useless money on Amazon junk. And I'm going to configure things to where no matter what happens, I'm fine. I've got this. You don't have that determination mindset, Willow. You have that defeatist mindset.
Give me a minute and I'll go unblock you. Give me just a second to get out in the middle of the road. You should be able to get back in. The person you blocked a minute ago, Misty.
And here's another great suggestion by Dots Sure, saying, as far as the doctor's appointments, make late appointments or early. Keep them that way. Right. If you have a doctor's appointment, if you get a new job of some sort, you can work your appointments around that. Doctors will work with you.
Oh, hold on. I have to unmute you too. I'm sorry. Give me just a minute. Accounts, unmute. Okay, now you can get back in. Wee.
Scooting ahead.
And the next person that compares my situation to somebody else is going to get blocked.
Okay, you know what? It looks like we're going to be stopping and starting again. So we'll just end it here. You guys get the gist of Willow Shirley. Just it's no shock or surprise to me why Willow is having so many problems. Like, despite all the side hustles, there's so many excuses. There's a defeatist attitude. It's just, she's a trip, isn't she? Why is it that all the locales, they all share the same defeatist attitude? You'd think they'd learn from it. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this react. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go ahead and post this to YouTube and get on with my day. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.